Hi guys, my name is Jake. Welcome to Canadian Cutting Edge. It's been a month, maybe almost 2 months ago since the video series was floating around, not series, challenge or, just request people to put out their 5 favorite knives video. And, that was right during the time when both of my parents died in separate incidences. So there was a lot going on in my life. But the Big Canucker formally challenged me to make one of those videos or tagged me to do one of those. So I'm going to tell you 5 knives that make me smile. So these aren't necessarily my favorite knives, but I just like these knives a lot. And in no particular order, I'm going to show them to you. So stick around, enjoy. Let's start with that knife. This is the Savivi Dogma. D2 steel, hollow grind, a nice buoy style clip point flipper, and it opens from underneath as well. Just a little bit of a flick. I'm not that good at beneath flicks, but certainly it opens that way with that hole there. G10, we got like that jigging style of handle scale, sort of old school. The lanyard option is inset, which I really like. Deep pocket clip right and left. I really like that. Very comfortable in my hand. Fits really well. It's quite light, and I really enjoy this knife. It gives me a nice smile. The forward choil is actually big enough that you can use it safely, or at least I can use it safely. So many knives that have this forward choil, they have it too small. And look at that. I love how Savivi makes the badging just tiny. There's a tiny little D2 there. And then you get the C for Savivi, and that's it. Savivi knows what they're doing. Good lockup. Great little knife that I really, really like an awful lot. Like I said, these are not in any specific order. The Ganzo G704. This is the knife that turned me on to Ganzo, and I've reviewed over 75 Ganzo knives already. That's a lot. The blade shape is really cool. You've got a nice drop point here with the swedge. Makes it pierce well. Nice belly and street section here. The thumb riser's got some really fine jimping that is really grippy. I like that. You've got your access lock. You've got thumb stud deployment as well. Or of course you can do the access lock flick. The handle's nice and comfortable. The pocket clip, well, it's the Ganzo pocket clip. I don't mind, even though it's not a deep carry clip. And this point coming up here, it never bothered me. I ended up getting, I think, 8 different of these. And very recently in 2021, there's a little bit of junk in there, something on the handle. Oh well. In 2021, Ganzo's putting out these knives, a number of these older models with D2 steel, if you prefer that. I'm not that fond of the bead blast finish, but how comfortable this knife was in hand, how secure it felt, how great the access lock was. Back when I got this, there's no way I could afford to get a, why is my brain blank? The company that invented the access lock. Yep, major brain fart. A lot of stress in my life right now. I've also got terrible knee problems, and I need surgery again, and the pain is just excruciating. And that clouds up one's brain, but there you go. It was my first good experience with an access lock that I could afford. At the time, this thing was under $20 American. Talk about a good deal. And Ganzo knives are still a very good deal. They're some of the best made knives in their price point, the low 20s quite often. I always talk in American dollars because most people around the world know how much an American dollar is worth compared to their currency, or it's easy for them to look it up. What do we got next? We've got a QSP knife, the QSP Songbird S35VN. Notice thumb stud again. We had a thumb stud here. It's got just a slight recurve, sort of like a talon style blade. Oh, it's a little bit fingerprints all over it. I'd take it out every once in a while. I like this titanium, and with these sort of supposed to, I guess, look like feathers back here. Carbon fiber inlay there too. It's a frame lock. It's got very good action, very comfortable to use, a lot of fun. Looking at the camera again, and that deployment using that thumb stud, it just flies out. We don't have a guard, but you can pull your finger up a little closer to be a little more secure. And this knife brings a great smile to my face. This was actually given to me by the people from QSP when I got to go to Blade Show 2019. My friends at GRIDomatic.com paid for me to go to Blade Show. I was going to work in their booth, volunteer in their booth, and that kind of fell through, but the tickets for the flights were already paid for with non-refundable tickets, so I got to go to Blade Show, and one of the big joys of my life. It was awesome. And I got this knife there, so there you go. Anything consistent between these three? Not really. Liner lock, axis lock, frame lock, hollow grind, a saber kind of grind, a nice recurve. We've got another QSP for number 4. Look at this. This is the QSP Hawk. Oh yeah, it's very dirty. Yeah, well, I won't clean it right now. This guy's also S35VN. Nice drop point blade. We've got a bit of a bigger choil here. It's not quite big enough as if I go all the way up there, it's not that great, but I can put my fingers back here as well with that jimping and get a secure grip. A thumb stud, thumb riser, liner lock, deep carry pocket clip. It's right side only, but I'm mostly ambidextrous. And then this wood. It's just beautiful. The grain in here is awesome. It's just a stunning wood. Forget, was it snake wood? I really like wood, and I don't have enough knives with wood handles, and this is a very hard wood, quite oil impregnated from the tree oils. And the blade, the shape is just really good. It cuts really, really well. And yes, I do use it. That's why it's dirty. It's got some sticky stuff on there. I got to clean this thing again. I like this knife an awful lot. So the QSP Hawk. And finally, I'll show you this knife. Yes, the Best Tech Tulip slip joint version. It's got a double detent slip joint. It's got a sort of Kiridashi style blade, titanium body, pocket clip on this little guy. I am a huge fan of small knives. I've got a pretty good collection of just small knives, and this thing is stunning. You can get it as a frame lock as well. And M390 steel on here. Ostep design. Ostep is my favorite designer of knives, and I've got a number of knives that he's designed, especially a bunch of real steels. And they make me smile too, but they just didn't make it on this list today. This is a beautiful knife. I should have taken time to clean them all first, but this drop point Kiridashi style knife with the finger over here, you're totally safe of it closing on your finger because this finger's in the way to stop it from closing. And for small tasks, this thing can do 90% of the EDC tasks that I need to do in a given day. And it's one of the reasons why I really like it so much. So glad I got this Tulip. I like slip joints a lot. So there we go. We've got 5 knives that make me smile. They're very different. I'm surprised that none of these ended up being stonewash. Stonewash is my favorite finish on a blade. So I really wish all of these had a nice stonewash. But hey, these are the 5 that I chose today that make me smile. I'm recording this on September 21st, 2021. And there you go. You got a pretty good idea of what these are. I buy most of my knives from White Mountain Knives, but back in the day when I got this guy, I was getting a lot of my knives from Gear Best, and I was an affiliate with them, and they would even send me some knives for free. But they don't have a lot of good knives anymore, and they don't do much ganzos at all either. If I can't get my knives from White Mountain Knives, I sometimes go to rakeknives.ca. It's in Canada. I really like rake knives. Or I buy from AliExpress. There's a lot of knives I get that are from AliExpress that are cheap, but these are a little bit more, S35VN, M390, S35VN. These are a little bit more high-end, although I'm a budget knife guy. But, like this is the lowest price knife here. It's a little bit heavy. They didn't skeletonize the handle at all. So there's that, but Ganzo knows what they're doing, and they've got knives that are a whole lot better than this guy out. But this one always makes me smile. I had, this came out with several colors, and by the end it came out, I think, in 7 different colors. And at the time, the red one was impossible to find. It took me a year and a half to find the red one. And when I got the red one, I made sure I hung on to it. I've sold all the other ones already because sometimes you just have to sell your knives to make ends meet financially. But I always kept the red one. And one more knife that really makes me smile that I wanted to add in here, and that's the Sanrenmu 7010. So yeah, that's 6 knives that make me smile. This knife has got washers, and they just fly open. It's a great action on these. I've got several different versions of the 7010. This one wasn't exclusive with digital camo G10. And this one's Sandvik C, Sandvik C 12C27, I should say. Most of them come out with 8CR14 MOV, which I don't mind either. And a tip-down pocket clip, but this knife is the knife that got me started with Sanrenmu knives. And I've reviewed over 100 Sanrenmu knives. They initially were just selling knives in the Chinese market, and then as the world became internetized, they started selling them on the internet, and the whole world got to see Sanrenmu knives. And now they've even come out just with a Western brand or a non-domestic brand called SRM. And SRM knives are stunning, and that's just part of Sanrenmu. So there you go. 6 knives that make me smile, because 5 knives is not enough. Is it? Till next time, remember, friends, always cut towards your chum, not your thumb. Bye-bye.